So as we have completed creating the model and attaching all the elements to the null objects for animation, let us start the fun part now. We will start with closing the screen and having it in a very basic position, and then we'll animate it coming popping up, and then the screen will open up, and then the UI elements will come out of the screen. So let's change the rotation value of our null object. Now we only have to worry about these two nulls that we have created. We will be animating them and will not touch the 3D model directly as such. So let's hit R on the keyboard to bring up the rotation values, and where it is -11 we can put in 90 to close up the lid. Alright, and now we have the master control with us as well, and let's go and bring up the scale values for that. So if I scale it like that, you'll notice that the whole object is being scaled. So basically how animation will work is we'll have to set keyframes in our timeline here. So if you press plus or minus while hovering over the timeline, you will be able to zoom in and zoom out. So this is like 1 second, 2 second and 4 second mark, and if you zoom in, you'll actually see all the frames that are visible. Alright, so to key any controller, like I have brought up scale values by pressing S on the keyboard. So you'll see a little clock icon here. So if you click on that, there will be a key set here. I'll show you here on the first frame. Wherever your time slider is, the key will be set over there with its position or with its scale value in this case. So now if the scale is like 146, and if I bring it down to 100, you'll see the scale is at 100%. Okay, and now after about 10 frames, if I want it to go bigger, like 146 like we had our default value, then it will be scaled up. So you'll see the animation is already done here. So when you hit spacebar on your keyboard, the animation will play up and it will go from this value to this value. So it is very simple, and animating any values are very simple. You just set keys on that particular time frame and your animation will be played accordingly. Okay, so let's reduce the first value to 0 because we want it to appear out of nowhere, and if you hit 0, it will disappear, and like this it will pop up. Okay, but right now it is too abrupt, it's too fast, so let's spread out the timing to about 20 frames. And also if I want to ease in the animation, I'll just right click on the key, go to keyframe assistant and press easy ease. Okay, what this will do is this will smooth out your animation. It will not abruptly come to that pose, but it will ease into that pose. Okay, so there is also one more point where you can edit this is if you select the keys and go here in the graph editor. So you'll be able to see the transition graph of your animations. Okay, so if I'm scaling this up and if I want to have more weight, more ease into it, so like the animation is coming fast from here and then it's reaching the end position earlier and then settling down, so that will be easing in. Okay, so that will smooth out your animation and it will not be too abrupt. Let me show you how. Okay, so now if I play this, you'll see that it's really smooth, it's not hitting and it's not too robotic. Okay, so that's how you ease in the keys and have smooth animations. Okay, and also we'll need a bit of rotation here. So let's bring up the rotation value by pressing R again, and this time we want to rotate the Y axis something like this. Let's key the value here for Y axis. Okay, and now for reference, if you want to see your scale values as well, like you want to know where your frames are, so just by selecting the layer, press U on the keyboard. So only the properties which have keys on them will pop up, because there are many properties like position, scale, anchor point and everything. We don't want to see that here right now. We only want to see what we have animated. So like we animated the scale, so it will show up, and we have keyed the Y rotation as well, so that will show up. Okay, so this is the end position we want, and let's have some rotation to it. Okay, something like this, and we'll move this key to the first frame. But if we have rotated in the first frame, we wouldn't be able to see that, so you can really have your pose here and then move it back. So now if I play, and also we'll do it easy, do easy ease on this key and go to the graph editor and adjust a little bit. Now let's preview render this. Of course, what I will do is I'll ease in a little bit more. I'll give it some more time while it's coming up, but I'll make this reach earlier. Okay, so let's give it some more pull and really ease into this. Alright, this looks really good. So we have an animation for 1 second here, and while this is opening up somewhere from the middle, I want the screen to open up as well. Okay, so let's go back to our screen control, and we have our X rotation. So let's key this here. So while it's reaching its end position here, we will open it up like it was before. Something on the negative side, not too much at a right angle, and let's ease this in as well. Now let's preview our animation. So here we have it. Our laptop is like appearing and the lid is opening up. But I think if we open up the lid from the start, it will look much better. So let's bring this key back here and let it open faster. So basically you have to play with the timing, and you have to play with the ease in and ease out of the animation, because it's really different for everyone, and depending upon your project and depending upon your requirement, what you're going to do, you have to adjust the timing accordingly. And shifting the frames and everything is all about timing and spacing. So if I move these frames closer, it will be much faster, and if I move them farther away, it will be slower. So you really should plan the timing and how you want the animation to be. Okay, so I'll just adjust some ease in here. It's too abrupt. I mean, it's opening up too early. So this looks good, and but I want to keep it rotating till the end of our scene. Okay, so if you can set the playability, you can set the limitation of the time slider to play only the desired frames. Like for if I want to limit the playability till 4 seconds, what we'll do is we'll just bring our time slider there and press N on the keyboard to make a selection to trim the comp, to trim the time slider to play only that many frames. And if you want to start somewhere, you can press B on the keyboard to make a selection. Okay, so I'll just go back to the first frame and press B, and here we have the the end of it. And if I now play my animation, it will reach till there and loop back. Okay, so we have a rotation with us for this, the Y rotation, but let's go ahead and continue that rotation till the end. It will not be too much, but we'll have to keep it rotating a little bit so that it will have some movement till the end. And we'll adjust the interpolation of this key in the graph editor. So if you notice that it is going smooth and then it is flattening up and then again going up, so let's give it a straight interpolation. You have to really play with the graphs here, and If you can't see this graph, just go to this option here and select on edit value graph. And also you can have the basic set easy ease in and out interpolation here. So if you can't see the handle, just press this and you'll get it, and then you can change that as well. So really sculpt your graph to have good ease in and ease out and good interpolation in between, so your animation is not too jerky. Okay, so let's preview our animation once again. Now I also want to change the opening of the screen to come a little later. I want it to be smoother, a little smooth. So I'll edit the graph here again. So let's change this. So it's a really smooth graph. And I'll bring it back here again. And let's preview this again. You can play and pause this by pressing spacebar, of course, or also you can go to this preview button and press play. So it will first render your frame, and that will not be in real time, but after this has turned to green, you can play it real time. I think this looks good, and we can also do is like we have a scale, and just like we did for Y rotation, we kept it going a little bit just to give it a feel of a motion. So we can also do the same for scale as well. So let's do that, and we'll just slightly increase the scale to 148 or something. Okay, and change the interpolation of this key as well. So you can press shift and scroll your mouse to like fit it in the view or zoom in or zoom out, and then you'll be able to change it better. So here I have it, the main animation of our laptop opening up is done. I have just adjusted some graph and made them smoother in the graph editor. It really helps to do that because it adds value to your animation, and just moving objects is not really animation, so you really have to take care of ease in and ease out and how appealing it looks with the timing and spacing. So after this is done, it's time to bring out the UI out of the screen, which is an interesting part right now. Don't worry about the look and feel right now. We have kept it to very third quality, and the effects will not be visible here, but don't worry, we can turn them on later on anytime. So let's just focus on animation right now. And now if you just want to close down all the values that you have opened for the layers, just deselect any layer and press U again so that it will close up. And let's focus our attention now on the elements that we want to pop out of the screen. Okay, so we don't want to I'm not going to take out all the elements out of the screen, so it will really take away with the contrast. So let's select what we want to bring out. We'll have this curved line chart. So what we can do is we can color code the layers we want to animate. So if you see these boxes here, just right click on them and you'll be able to select all of the colors that you want, and let's select orange because that's really visible right now. So after that curved line chart, let's bring out this first graph as well. So let's find which one is it, and yeah, it's your business, so let's color code that as well. So basically whatever elements you want to animate, you can just select them. I'll just go ahead and pick and choose. Okay, so I have randomly selected all of these layers. So what I'll do is I'll bring them all closer together. So I'll just select that and bring them all up so that they are beneath each other. It's not going to affect here because they are already on top of the white space and the UI. So after we're done with this, let's press P on the keyboard to bring out the position values. And when the laptop is opened, we have this Z depth value here. So if I animate any of them, you'll be able to see that all of these elements are already coming out of the screen. Okay, so this is what we want to do. We'll just animate them together and then offset the timing. Okay, so let's see, maybe here we can make them start coming out of the screen somewhere around here. So let's key the position. So if all the layers are selected, if you press even on one clock, every layer will be affected and the keys will be set on all the layers. So that's really handy. And once it is out, about on the 1/20th frame, let's bring them out. Okay, so we can preview this. I'll just move the frames farther away to make it really make it a little slow. So after offsetting the time, of course, what I'll also want to do is have easy ease on. Now this time I'll have it on all the keys. So let's go to keyframe assistant and have easy ease. So if you notice, our elements are coming out, but the shadow is only visible, only one object has a shadow here, so we have to also turn the shadow on for all of these objects. Okay, so let's go back to the drop down and into the material properties, and let's turn on the cast shadow option for all of them. Go to here on and just check that all of these assets have, all of these UI have the cast shadow option on. And after that is done, just press U to close all the values. And now we can adjust the light as well, because it's too much at its side, I feel, and I think we can adjust that. Okay, this looks pretty good. So let's preview our animation once more. So if you feel that the UI is blowing up and the white is too much, you can anytime go into the light properties and adjust the intensity of the light. So I'll just be reducing the intensity a little bit here, and also let's go to the ambient light and reduce the intensity. Let's keep it 38 maybe. So just like we changed the properties for this UI before, and it is much more specular and a bit transparent as well as translucent, let's do the same for all of the other elements as well. So you can have, for reference, you can have that curved line chart opened up, and you can study the property that we have changed. Like we have some transparency roll off, we also have some index of refraction set to 1.01. so let's do the same for all the other elements as well, so they pop out a little bit more. So now you will notice that I have changed the properties for all of them, and now they are much more visible than than when they were back there. Okay, and something like this, and then they are popping out, and as soon as they start to pop out, the values change, and they have a bit of a transparency as well as a bit of reflection in it, and also the shadows will be softer later on when we change the renderer. You can also experiment changing the position of the light accordingly. So you can go to the custom view and experiment with the lighting. Let's see if we can turn it a little bit here, and let's go back to our active camera and we can see the results here. This looks pretty good, and of course now our animation is ready, almost ready, and you can see our basic animation is ready here. The UI is coming out and everything, and now it is time to offset the timing of the UI once again. Okay, let's open up the animated properties here by pressing U, and we can just shift the timing of the keys. We can just shift the keys to adjust the timing here. So let's bring this one up first. Okay, and then we'll have some shift for this, and then later on we'll bring out this one, and at the end we'll bring out this one. So we can just select the keys and shift them accordingly to really offset the timing, and let's see how it looks. Okay, so I think this looks pretty good, and now just for sake of it, we can go back to our renderer settings and change it back to the standard one. Okay, and see how all the effects are coming up. This will really be heavy on your computer, and if you make it to full res, it really will take a lot of time to render, but I'll just speed up here and let's see how the output is coming up. So here is the output that we have rendered so far, and this is almost done. We can obviously go ahead and animate the camera also. It takes a little time in this renderer to actually give an output to render all of these frames, because as I mentioned, it is really heavy on your system, and if you do not require the refraction and opacity and all of these additional settings, then the first option makes sense. But of course, to take it a level ahead and have all of these details and more beautification, better lighting and better shadows and all, then of course this technique, the ray trace 3D, is much better. So I will go ahead and show you just one little thing, that we can also animate the camera. Like I have set it up here, and if I just press P on the keyboard and bring up the position values of the camera, so we can key that, and we can keep it rotating till the last frame, or we can also extend our timing like this and keep it going, keep it rotating if you want that shot to be longer in your presentation. Okay, so I'll just hit C on the keyboard to again bring the camera rotation, and we can set a key at the end. Also we can take this at the first frame, and now I'll preview render this once again. So I think this has put on a better touch, and it is much more dynamic now that we have added the animation to the camera itself. We can go crazy and have some more dynamic angles, something like coming from the bottom and or the top. You can explore this as per your liking. So to render this comp now, all we have to do is we should have our in and out point like this, and then the end frame selected here by pressing N on the keyboard. So B for the in and N for the out, so that we limit and trim the timeline. And once you have your animation ready, we can go to composition and add to render queue. And here we have various settings. It's all up to you what settings you want, what format you want to export it in. So basically for doing a QuickTime movie is the best option. Just select QuickTime and go to format options and select H264 for better file size, a lighter file size but with very good quality, and hit OK. And here we output 2, you can set your final comp, which is 3D UI final, and save it to your desired directory and hit save. And you can press if you render it directly, it will render and you will see a preview here, but that might also slow up the system because it has to build a preview. So if you just keep the caps lock on and then render, the preview will not be shown, but it will render in the background, so it will be actually lighter on your system. Alright, just make sure you go back to the ray trace settings and bring it back to level 3, so that you render it that way, and go back to the render queue. So make sure you have selected the comp and all the settings are ready, and then you can hit render. So here we have it, guys. Our final output is rendered, and I think it looks fine. We have achieved what we set out for. I encourage you to go ahead and explore the many possibilities these two techniques offer. Both approach has its merits and demerits, but it really depends upon the specification of your project. So you can really use this kind of animation for your corporate presentation, for your website or application. If you really want to focus on any specific element of your design, you can really use this technique to pop it out and sell it, explain it further. You can use better specularity, more glossiness, or refraction or reflection. It's all up to you, and it's all up to our creative decisions. So I hope this course was really insightful or helpful to you in a fun way, and I really enjoyed explaining through the process of these techniques. Thank you very much for being with me throughout this course, and I will see you next time.